YouTube Cricket Chat YouTube channel, and today we are lucky. We've been joined by Botswana national team cricket captain Karabo Motlhanka. Have I said it?
Motlhanka.
Motlhanka.
Motlhanka, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to our YouTube channel called Cricket Chat. With Cricket Chat, we try and talk matters relating to Kenyan cricket. And now, because you are here for this tournament featuring your country, Rwanda, Uganda, and host Kenya, we thought maybe we could have a moment with you. So feel welcome. So how has been the tournament so far? You've just played your sixth match.
Ninth.
Your ninth match. How has it been?
Well, it has been a very big challenge. Obviously, the three teams that we came to play here had all beaten us in the recent past. So we came here with the goal of trying to get one over them and trying to just get back up. As Botswana cricket, we've gone through a transition period. So we wanted to try and get those games in, because as a team to develop, we need the match time. And
is it something that you've achieved? Have you been able to achieve whatever you were looking for? One of your targets?
Yes, I think one of the targets we did beat Rwanda after losing to them last year. We did beat Kenya after a long time without ever beating Kenya. So we didn't manage to beat Uganda, but we were still disappointed. We felt that we could have still won maybe a couple more matches in this tournament if we had just done a few things right. But I guess at the end of the day, it's part of the learning process.
Can you single out maybe one or two things that let you down in the matches that you think you have won?
To be honest, I think it was our batting. A lot of the time we didn't put enough runs on the board, especially because we got the opportunity to bat first a lot of times. The number of times we didn't even get to 100. I think it's quite disappointing, but it's just for us to go back home and try to work on that.
Okay. The win against Kenya, I was told that you people sang from the venue to the hotel. What did that win mean to you as a captain?
It means a lot to me, because I've played against Kenya since under 19 level, senior level, and we have never beaten them. So that was a very big one, because those are the days that you remember. Kenya is so much higher ranked than us. They've always had the better quality. They've always played more cricket. So that day in itself, I think it's a big day for Botswana cricket, because it shows that, especially in this T20 game, anything can happen, and we can always believe that we can get one over the other team, no matter how higher ranked they are or how well they play or anything like that, what players they have. Must always believe that it's possible.
How was the reaction back home? If I'm sure you made calls, you received calls from home. Yeah. What was the reaction as far as after you registered that win?
Yeah, everybody was elated. In fact, people couldn't believe it, because we've had our recent struggles. So beating Kenya is a big highlight. It's just one of those things that back home people will say, okay, you guys actually went there and you came back with something. Even though we didn't win the competition or we didn't win as many games as we want, at least we have the memory, and it will serve as a point of reference for the future, especially for the youngsters in the team, that once upon a time we beat Kenya. It works in a similar way to in 2018 we beat Namibia, and we had never had the chance to beat Namibia ever in our past. So it's one of those days again. Kenya, we put them right up there with the Namibia. For us growing up in Africa, those are the teams we always looked up to.
And after having beaten Kenya, what do you think that this win, or what is your hope that this win is going to bring back home?
I'm hoping that it inspires especially the younger people in the team, the younger people that are still at home, to see that the cricket levels, I think, of nowadays, in recent times, I think the levels are not so big. The gap is not so big. The T20 cricket has just brought the whole world a bit closer in terms of the standards of cricket that are being played. And I think people now will know that if you work harder, those wins are now possible.
And one thing I remember having a conversation with your coach, Joseph Angara. He mentioned that you are missing two of your
senior batsmen.
Senior batsmen.
Yeah.
And you're coming for this tournament. Have you managed to get something positive with their absence, despite their absence from this tournament?
Yes, I think it's allowed a couple of our youngsters to then come in, get that match time, get that exposure, because in this game I believe exposure is important. Having the experience of being somewhere before is very important. Yes, we do miss them. There's only so much we can do. The game has to go forward. So we agreed coming here knowing that we won't have them. But it's just part of the game. It allows the youngsters to then come in, learn. The seniors that are there, we've had to try and take some extra responsibility for the team. So I think cricket goes on either way. But it was a big miss. It would have been nice. Like I mentioned, the betting part was a problem for us, and it was basically because we were missing quite a few of ours. Yes.
You said that you started with the under-19, and now you're the captain of the national team, which means you've been in that group for over almost 7 years.
No, more than that. I've been captain alone for 8 years.
The national team?
Yes.
So you've worked with Joseph Angara?
Yes, since he arrived.
How has been his impact as far as development of your team or growth of your team is concerned?
It's been excellent, because a lot of the people that I did come up from under-19 with them end up going into different things in life. They either become businessmen or they grow families and they take a step back from the game. So what he has managed to do is that the youngsters that were coming up at the time, he has managed to get them to a level where they can come and represent Botswana at senior level, and I think it's been a fantastic job, because it wasn't an easy one. I'm still trying to keep going, but I know that the ones that I came with, growing up with, some of them still wish to be playing. He still tries to encourage, but I think he's done very well in bringing up the youngsters and trying to fill that void. And it's not an easy thing bringing the youngsters, especially in Botswana, where we don't have a lot of cricket going on, a lot of quality cricket. I think he's done very well pushing the small group that we do have to try and get to a certain level. Apart
from your main team, there's also been a story, will I say success, with the women's team. Probably just if you can mention what is really happening with the girls cricket, because they were in while you were here, they've just left Rwanda. Maybe if you can just tell us what is happening with women's cricket in the country.
Yes, I think women's cricket is really pushing. There was a bit of a lull, especially with COVID. I think it happened everywhere where things disappeared for a little bit, but the ladies have come back strong. A lot of them are working very hard. I think they've seen the standard of women's cricket growing also in the world. It's proved as an inspiration, and it's getting a lot more young girls, young women. Sometimes I coach in primary schools, so now we're getting young girls involved, wanting to play cricket and things like that. So I think those things will only do well for the game in the country.
Okay. As we wind up, you're going back home after, of course, you're going back home after this tournament. What's next for Botswana? Considering that you've played 9 matches, I think that's the highest number of matches you might have played in a single tournament. Then you win against Kenya for the first time. Again, you also registered a win against Rwanda. After this tournament, what's next for Botswana? What would you like to see for Botswana?
I would just like to see a team that is inspired, a team that comes and wants to have seen the level here and want to then come back and be better. I think seeing progression is the most important part, because cricket is progressing. I think it's progressing all over the world. Information is being shared everywhere, and I really don't want us to be left behind. So the next time you see us, I'm hoping we can put a much better showing up. Instead of beating Kenya once, we do it twice. Next time we also take Uganda with us, because that's another one we haven't quite gotten the scalp yet. So just keep those goals, those small goals, and then one day we find ourselves in a place where we never imagined. So I think that's how it goes.
Do you have tournaments coming up?
At the moment, to my knowledge, I think there's an ACA finals, because before coming here, we were in South Africa for the Southern African qualifier for Africa Cup. So
how did you perform in that tournament?
We won it. Yes, it was a five nation tournament.
You were Botswana,
Malawi, Mozambique, Mauritius, and the last one is Eswatini. Yes, so we managed to win all the matches there before coming here. So we came here with actually quite a lot of confidence, but the gulf, I think, in the standard of the cricket was quite big, and we could see it here. Also, it has been a long tour, because we only went home for 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So but we have qualified. We won that tournament, so we're looking forward to the ACA Cup finals to see if we can. Last year we got to the semi-finals. and we lost narrowly to Tanzania. So we're hoping if we can go one step further and get him to a final, you never know.
Okay, thanks so much, Karabo. I wish you all the best, and I hope that the win, the performance of this tournament, how you performed in this tournament is going to add some positivity in your cricket.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was Botswana captain just sharing his whatever he has garnered, whatever he has gained from the ongoing tournament. As he has said, the win against Kenya was a big one, and he just hopes that it's going to open doors. It's going to open, give young players back home a lot of confidence, a lot of belief that they can do it. So until next time, when we are hoping to get another visitor coming on show, thank you very much and all the best.